Welcome to the Crimson Tide Connection, your home for Crimson Tide sports, and I'm joined today by the head coach of the Alabama soccer team, Todd Bramble. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while, Coach.
Yep.
Good to see you. You recently wrapped up your spring soccer season. Just what did you learn from the team?
Well, we had a really productive spring. The players had a great attitude about things, put a lot of work in, and we had a smaller squad. Once you take the seniors that are eligibility is done, and you whittle it down to just the returning players without our freshmen that are coming in. It's just really a core nucleus of the group, and so those players they got a lot of repetitions and made progress in a lot of different areas.
Coach, I guess as you say, kind of whittling that down to just a few players, that gives you a chance to really evaluate them a little bit more. Did you see anything from them? Did anyone kind of stand out or surprise you from that group?
Well, some of the veterans that we've come to know over the course of the last couple of years just continue to get better. So I don't think there were any surprises there. I think somebody that really stood out to our staff this spring was Pia Riesdyk. She really had a good spring. Made huge strides with her fitness and some of her finishing, and the way she played a variety of different positions for us, and she was really sharp this spring, so I know that we're feeling good about her performance.
Well, Coach, after seeing this team in the spring, maybe what are some things that the fans can expect to see from this Alabama soccer team in 2013?
Well, it was also good for us this spring for 3 new players to get a little bit of a head start. We did add 2 players that came in early, graduated from high school. Jordan Meyer and Auburn Mercer joined us in January, so they started in all of our spring games, and that experience is invaluable. And then Danny Harabin, who we added to the team, also, she did a very good job in our spring games as well. So, those players will be able to come in and compete for spots right away and add depth to our team. But one of the big focuses that we had on this spring was just trying to improve some of our tactics and our sophistication with the way we attack. That was something where I think we could have won more games last year if we could have put some teams away and scored some more goals. So we really tried to evolve in that area this spring, and I'm really happy with the progress we made.
Well, Coach, kind of in addition to these players that you've been evaluating during the spring, I know you signed a great recruiting class that you're pretty pleased about. You signed a couple international players. One of those that you just recently signed is Mia Jar from Norway. Can you talk about her and what she brings to this soccer team? Yeah,
she was a late addition just within the last couple of weeks to our incoming class next fall, and we're really excited to have gotten her at this late stage. She's got a great playing background with her club scene over in Norway. The thing that probably is the most attractive to us, from a starting point, is that she's left-footed, and that's that's a commodity in our sport where it gives us balance to our team on the left side of the field, and she's versatile. I think she could play on several different lines for us. But the fact that she's left-footed, she's had a great club background, I think she's going to be able to come in and compete for playing time right away.
Well, Coach, I know you're always excited when you bring in a lot of new, young, exciting talent, but I know you're also excited when some of your former players sign professional contracts, and you recently had that, and former standout Victoria Frederick signed with the Seattle Reign of the National Women's Soccer League. What does that mean to you, but also to this program, to see players come into this program, excel, get better, and then they move on to be able to play professionally?
We're really excited for Victoria and really proud of that accomplishment. That women's professional soccer in this country's kind of had a tough go over the last 4 or 5 years with leagues not being able to sustain themselves. And with this league, there's very few teams that make up this league. And when you bring in the U.S. national team players from our country, the U.S. national team players from Canada, and the U.S. and the national team players from Mexico. That's a large portion of every roster of every squad. So now you've just got the rest of the population competing for those few remaining spots, and for the fact that she earned one of those spots on one of these teams is a tremendous accomplishment for her, and it shows the talent that she has, the skill. But she's a really hard worker, and she brings a lot of athleticism, and I'm not surprised at all that that the Reign saw what they liked in her through the preseason tour in Japan, and she made that roster. But it's definitely a source of pride for our program here.
No, for sure, Coach. And you've had a great spring. You've done great in recruiting. But what's next for this Alabama soccer team as you're starting to prepare for the 2013 season?
Well, last fall, even though there's more distance between now and when that ended, That's not something that we've forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
We had a really, really good team last year, and we fell short of our expectations. And that fire that's sitting within us has burned brightly through the spring and motivated the players to work really hard and carry that through the summer. And now being able to bring this group back and add some exciting new talent to the team in the fall. We're really looking forward to it. We all need to get some rest now and enjoy our summer and go our own separate ways and recharge our batteries. But when we come back, we're going to be ready to go.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a great spring and a great recruiting class, and I hope you can take a little downtime and enjoy yourself a little bit before you hit the season next year.
That's the plan. That's the plan for the staff, and the players are going to do that too. That's important so that when we come back, we're all ready to go.
Excellent. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us today. For head coach Ty Bramble, I'm Christopher England, and that's it for this edition of the Crimson Tide Connection.